I just want to bring it into current times as we're talking about family. Everybody is in the same environment now. We're all working from home, we're educating from home, we're playing from home. We're sort of using technology in a all or nothing sort of role. So in your career, as you've worked on digital technologies and the way that it transforms business, how do you see the present and the future with what's happening with Zoom fatigue and what's happening with our social interactions? How do you see the future changing with our use of technology during this current pandemic?
Well, I believe that the pandemic, or actually crises in general, have the ability to accelerate what was already there. I looked at some data from McKinsey, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and it talked about the presence of e-commerce and how, going B2B, B2C, C2B, whatever, has grown 10 years in just 3 months in the first quarter of this year. Whereas from 2009 to 2019, it was going up roughly 2 or 3 percentage points every year, or like 5 points, maybe over 3 or 4 years. And then, so a slope was like this, right? And then in January of this year, it went like this, basically. And so that is the thing, what's happening in all, I believe, many aspects of life, is that what was already a trend gets accelerated as a result of digital. So people were working from home, but now it's accelerated. When you look at all of the stock that's going on, whether it's Amazon or Tesla, the fact of electric cars, digital disruption is happening within even the manufacturing and automobile industry. So I believe that it is allowing us to reflect and reimagine a new possibility. Zoom fatigue is real. There was a surge of productivity. People that don't have to drive to work or drive from work, that's 2 hours of extra time they had to work, right? And so they did it. They put that time into working. But then productivity has started to wane a little bit, because now those folks are parents, and now they're having to worry about homeschooling their kids and all that. So I think there's going to need to be some new policies that HR should probably really consider to drive, well, given the new normal, given that people will be working from home. Facebook, I think, said people can work from home until mid of next year, or maybe the end of next year. So that's going to be a lot of companies around the world. And then the fact that airlines, we won't be traveling as much like we used to do. There's going to need to be some new policies from an HR standpoint that needs to be put in place to allow the person who now is just a square on a screen, that they also have challenges when they get off of Zoom, the level of depression, the level of anxiety, and all those things. So I think there's going to be a call to action for our companies to not just take advantage of the increased productivity, but be aware that there could be a decreased productivity as well, because the people can only take so much. How do you take stretch breaks? How do you book some extra time in between your meetings so that you do have that time to decompress? So it's going to be an acceleration of the trend. Whatever the crack was there, it's going to show its crack. Whatever the great opportunity that was there, it's going to show that opportunity in a positive way. But we have to make sure that we know that there are people at the other end of the screen, and they're going to need some help as well.
Oh, that's great. We are starting to run out of time, so I want to end with a little bit of what you're working on. You've talked about how you've now retired and you're in that season of giving back. It doesn't sound like you're slowing down. You're on a number of boards, publicly traded companies, and you're also writing a book. So with all of that going on, you've obviously figured it out. I wanted to ask you, what advice do you have for the next generation of leaders, of managers, of employees, of moms, of entrepreneurs? What advice do you have for the next generation to really learn from everything that you've seen through your career?
Well, I think never stop learning. When you're done learning, you're done. So in addition to my serving on boards, in addition to the book, in addition to my speaking, even on platforms such as your great platform, I'm on Accenture Cybersecurity Council. I'm always reading MIT articles. I'm McKinsey. I'm always reading. So I think to the next generation, never stop learning, because once you're done learning, you're done. And be okay with not always having to go up vertically, up the career ladder. It's okay to go sideways, because when you're going sideways, your experience still increases. It's another layer that you're wrapping around yourself. It's not only a vertical layer that you want a well-rounded layer of experiences and information. And even if your position is not going this way, your knowledge is, and your ability to be holistic and multidimensional is going to also grow. I think that's one. Number two, bring your special cultural ad, to work, and apply it in a way that will drive the company outcomes. There's only one LeBron James, there's only one Oprah Winfrey, there's only one J-Lo, whatever. And be that person that you are meant to be, because there's a reason why you're created. Your true north is only your true north and not somebody else's. So don't be afraid to be who you are, your authentic self. And then I would just say, make sure that your activities match the values of the company, whether it's your own company or whether it's the company that you work for. It's not about what's important or urgent. It's about what's important, right? And sometimes people say, hurry up and do this and hurry up and do that. When the question is, will that drive the bottom line? Will that help drive cybersecurity? Will that help drive a better knowledge of the customer behavior? Will that generate capital or market expansion? And so whatever it is that you're doing, it's not about the activities, it's about the outcomes that you're driving. And when you focus on outcomes and then you focus on how you deliver those outcomes, I think you'll always win.
Thank you so much, Daphne. This was an incredibly valuable conversation. I've enjoyed it very much, and I know our viewers will take a lot from it. Thank you for joining us. I very much appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.